When Chris Tucker decided to turn down 10 to $12 million on reprising his role in the Friday franchise, a lot of people were caught off guard by this. His fans were surprised. People were speculating on why he decided not to move forward, especially with the opportunities in front of him. He's a young actor. He was very funny in the film. The movie Friday itself is very popular today. It's a classic in our culture. People still watch it and talk about it today as well. So people were just caught off guard. He didn't give a response. He didn't give a comment on why he decided not to move forward with the film. He just went off into the sunset. People also know him from Rush Hour, but after that, nobody has heard a lot from Chris Tucker. There was an article by God Updates. I want to share it with you guys, and he has some really cool responses on why he decided not to move forward with the movie Friday. Chris Tucker today is changed by Jesus, and he turned down $10 million to stay true to his faith. And it says here that Chris said this: I never was a raunchy comic, but I didn't think about what I was saying because I was young. Now, at the time when he made the movie Friday, he gave his life to Jesus not long after the film was released. And when that encounter happened, he had to make some tough choices. And then he goes on to say, being a Christian helps me in comedy. I have to talk about other stuff. Normally, most comics talk about stuff that's easy, maybe cussing or saying something raunchy. I have to dig deeper to find something that's still funny and not raunchy. It's harder, but I like the challenge. Ice Cube had a tweet because people always wondered, someone thought he quit over money, but Ice Cube said he didn't want to cuss or smoke weed on camera anymore because of religious reasons. So the truth came out on why Chris decided not to pursue this opportunity anymore. Now, one might look at that and think, why would you give up that great opportunity? You got a lot going for you, you're going to make a lot of money. But Chris said, you know what? I gave my life to God. And yes, I'm going to take a short term loss, but it's going to benefit me in the end. Now, think about this. There was a lot of prominent Black actors at the time in the 90s. You had Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Omar Epps, Will Smith, and other prominent Black actors in his time. So imagine you have these other guys you're competing with and probably have the opportunity to work with in the future. You decide to go another route. And it's not popular. It doesn't seem like it fits the world's agenda, but to Chris, it made sense. What Chris did here took a lot of guts. It took a lot of courage, a lot of integrity, and a lot of character to deny this opportunity. Because if you remember, he's competing with all these other Black actors who are, rising to the ranks. They got a lot of different films coming in. And Chris could have followed the same path. He could have decided, you know what? I've got my life set up. Let me go ahead and just take advantage of these other opportunities around me. And who knows what would have happened. But Chris said, you know what? It isn't right for me. It's against what God says. And I'm just going to go into the sunset and you won't hear from me again. And he didn't respond to anything about Friday until that article. And I find that pretty impressive for him to say, you know what? I just gave my life to Christ. I got all this money coming in from Friday, but it goes against what he says. And Chris decided not to pursue any more opportunities that would contradict what God says in the Bible. I mean, that's just powerful to me because it takes a lot of self-control. Because again, when you have that much talent, you can get prideful, you can have a big ego, and Chris really had to deny himself. Now, what can we learn from this situation? Well, as Christians, we're going to have to give up some things. We're going to have to take some short-term losses. It's not easy. It won't always be popular because friends and family might question us, but we know we have to make some hard decisions. You might have to give up on relationships that aren't good for you. You might have to give up on a career that may seem good, but you need to take a different route. Maybe you're in a state right now that you're living in and you need to move out because you need to stretch your comfort zone. I don't know what it is, but you need to make some hard decisions because it's going to work out in the end because God always has a bigger purpose for us. It may seem like a loss at first, but in the end, it's going to work out for us. I remember when I moved to Florida 6 years ago from Maryland, it was a big jump. I decided, you know what, I can't be comfortable anymore. I need to really stretch my wings and start to grow in a different way. And there were a lot of growing pains for me. But I remember my first job. I was doing door-to-door sales selling AT&T products. And at the time, I was making commission only. And this was my first real sales job. And it took a while to get used to it, but I ended up selling and getting really good, got promoted probably within like the first 2 months of my journey selling these products. And I remember my relationship suffering because I was working probably 10 to 12 hours a day, being at church on Sundays only. So I didn't have a lot of time to connect with people down there. And that was hurting me a lot because I needed relationships, right? So I decided to make a hard decision and not pursue this opportunity anymore and to go a different path. And I remember just wondering what am I doing in my career? How's everything going to work out? And now today I'm selling Medicare. I've gotten pretty settled in this industry and I'm still, working on getting better and also establishing a YouTube page. But that experience has helped me deal with rejection because I'm going to get rejected on YouTube. People aren't going to like me on here. That's okay, right? But it helps me navigate those comments, navigate people's negative reactions to me better because of those experiences, right? So you have to look at it that way. You might be in a situation right now where you're really going through it, you're taking some losses, but God has a bigger plan for you. So stick with it and keep moving forward and learn from Chris because even though it wasn't popular for him, people now like me admire him for his character and his integrity. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you comment and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.